This is the Aftermarket Radio Network. It's your weekly blitz with Chris, keeping you in the game.
Are you ready to supercharge your auto repair business? This is Coach Chris Cotton from AutoFix-Auto Shop Coaching. The Weekly Blitz is where industry expertise and business innovation collide, revving your engines for the week ahead. Every episode has game-changing insights, up-to-the-minute industry updates, and practical tips to shift your business into high gear. We're talking about stuff you didn't even know you didn't know, folks. If you haven't done so yet, please check out all of the other great podcasts on the Aftermarket Radio Network. Be on the lookout for Hunt Demarest. I hear he's got one coming up that he's dedicating to me. I'm really not sure what that's about, but go out to the Aftermarket Radio Network and take a listen, please. Also want to thank Shop Marketing Pros for sponsoring the Weekly Blitz. Brian and Kim Walker know the industry inside and out as former shop owners. They don't do copy and paste marketing. They create unique strategies for each and every individual client, and they offer incredible marketing that gets results for you, helping your clients and future employees to know, like, and trust you. Join their Auto Repair Marketing Mastermind Facebook group for Tuesday teachings once a month. Shop Marketing Pros is top-tier marketing for top-tier shops. Visit shopmarketingpros.com/Chris. I'm calling this one Navigate and Elevate Your Auto Repair Shop. I want you to think about things that we are letting slip and slide. And that's where this one really comes from at this point. We are getting some challenges and we're seeing some average repair orders drop. And where this episode comes from is where my investigation led me to. And so this is a current problem in several shops, not just one. And so we need to make sure that we're thinking about this the correct way and we're recognizing it and moving it forward. Okay. The economy right now is a mixed bag. Things are fluctuating. They're impacting various industries. However, as my good friend Brian Walker states, we have to create our own economy, right? I'm seeing some bad habits in the industry and we've got to get on top of it. While challenges are present, they also bring opportunities for us to fine-tune our operations and provide exceptional service in order to stand out in a competitive market. Finally, we don't need to create our own issues within our auto repair shops on top of everything else that's going on. There's plenty of things to worry about without creating our own issues. So the original investigation started out with a shop who was having a service advisor issue. Service advisor called in, so the owner had to step in. What the owner found out was that the service advisor was skipping a lot of steps in the process, might be presenting 2 things that we found instead of the 7 things that we found. They were cherry picking what they presented, what they didn't present, and then they weren't even estimating the other things. I'm going to talk to you about how to stop that, hopefully. And I started looking at some other shops. Where we went with this was other things we were seeing with issues with service advisors in other shops. Number one, especially right now, I think things are tight, money's tough for some people. Service advisors are selling with their own wallet. We're seeing this more and more now than we have in the past several years, actually. One critical aspect of running a successful auto repair shop is ensuring that your service advisors are not selling with their own wallets. This means that they have to refrain from projecting their own financial limitations onto customers. Hopefully, most of you shops out there are paying your people well enough that maybe money's tight, but it's not a struggle. But you need to really talk to them about this. Service advisors have to understand that every customer has a different financial situation and priority unique to them, and it has nothing to do with the service advisor and their wallet. Our responsibility is to share the customer's vehicle's needs with them so they can make informed decisions no matter what. If a technician writes up 7 things, we have to estimate and share all 7 things. I have to encourage you and your advisors to present all necessary repairs and services honestly and in a transparent fashion. This is going to allow customers to make informed decisions based on their needs and their budget. And this approach is going to build trust and ensures the vehicle receives the necessary care to remain safe and reliable. As we dug deeper, one of the other things is we have to make sure that we have comprehensive estimates, no skipping on recommendations. Just because a service advisor or a technician, or more specifically, a service advisor wouldn't buy it themselves because monies are tight, it doesn't mean that we shouldn't be presenting it to the customer. Again, it's the customer's vehicle. In order to be transparent and be informed and keep them informed, we have to present everything. It's not up to us to filter that out for them. And I always explain it this way. It's like we're an interpreter. The car speaks German, customer speaks English, and we speak both. And so we have to make sure that we don't filter that conversation out at all. Your technicians are skilled at identifying issues, right? But it's up to the service advisors to ensure that everything they write up is estimated. This also includes wraparound services and mileage-based maintenance recommendations. And so when advisors neglect to estimate all the identified issues, it can lead to missed opportunities for the shop for sure, and potential customer dissatisfaction, especially if other problems persist, or maybe they're hit with an accurate estimate later on, and now that leads to them questioning our integrity. Why didn't you find this last time? Or say it goes to a different service advisor and they notice that it didn't get written up last time. It makes us look bad. Again, better reason to have processes and procedures around this and make sure that we're doing this properly. And again, if you take care of the customer, the shop will be fine. Okay. So what should a thorough estimation process look like or include? Number one, it starts with the technician write-up. Every issue the technician identifies should be included in the estimate, including pictures and videos. And when I say inspection, I automatically default to DVI, digital vehicle inspection. And so if you're still doing paper copies and everything else, don't get me started. All right. You better be using DVIs. Again, we don't have time to get into that, but it is essential. Next, the wraparound services. So what are wraparound services? Those are additional services that enhance the primary repair, such as alignment after suspension work, cooling system service with a water pump and thermostat replacement, etc. A lot of times technicians forget to put those on there. So it's up to the service advisors to know what that is. It's also fuel induction service with spark plugs, coils, things like that. Next, we have mileage-based maintenance. These are all the recommendations based on the vehicle's mileage, such as oil changes, filter replacements, fluid services, and other scheduled maintenance set up on a schedule. Doesn't have to be factory schedule, but what you believe in as a professional in your industry, in your area. If you know an oil service needs to be done every 4,000 miles in the cars that you're working on, then that's what you should stick to. If you know in your severe climate that the customer should be doing an air filter whenever, then that's fine. You are the professional. We all know these mileage-based recommendations from the dealership are a little bit wonky. You know, they're interested in making sure that the maintenance costs on that window sticker are very, very low. Sometimes what they say is not in the best interest of the customer, keeping that car to 14 years, okay? 15 years, however long, 20 years. What we found is people are selling with their wallet. They're not estimating correctly. And that brings us to a lower average estimate. The average estimate has a huge impact on the average repair order. So let's talk about this a little bit. So the average estimate is crucial in determining the average repair order. And then when you're having goals, your ARO is a key performance indicator that reflects the health of your business. So if your average estimate goal is set correctly, it can positively impact your average repair order. So say we go through the math and your average repair order that, we know it should be $850 to $900 a ticket, but we look at your average estimate and your average estimate, say it's higher, say it's $1,200, but our close rate is only 50%. That makes our average repair order $600. Say we want a $900 average repair order, but our average estimate is $600. Well, guess what? We're never going to get there. Those are two of the big KPIs we track and look at, average estimate being one of them. If we look at how this impacts, here's some of the things that can hurt or help it. So number one's accurate estimation. So setting a realistic and comprehensive average estimate goal ensures that all necessary repairs and services are accounted for, leading to higher average estimates. And again, I don't want you to add stuff in there. I don't want you to fluff things up to increase the estimate. If you just write an estimate based on everything you know, being the professional in your industry, you'll be fine. But the problem is we're not doing that. Next, customer trust. Providing thorough and accurate estimates builds trust with your customers. When they see the value in your services, they're more likely to approve the recommended work. And it doesn't put us in this wishy-washy situation where one technician and service advisor, you come in and you get a $500 estimate. And then the next time you get a different technician and service advisor and you get a $3,000 estimate. We need this process to be the same because we don't know who's going to be working with this customer every time. Also, revenue growth, higher average estimates naturally lead to higher average repair orders, and that helps boost revenue and profitability. To improve your average estimate and subsequently your average repair order, I want you to focus on training service advisors to provide complete and detailed estimates. I want you to regularly review and adjust your average estimate goals to reflect the current market conditions and shop capabilities and what you believe in as a shop. Next thing is you have to monitor performance metrics to identify areas for improvement and celebrate successes. So what does having or establishing a written process for the perfect estimate look like? Creating the perfect estimate is an art that requires consistency and precision. And in order to achieve this, it's essential to have this written process that outlines every step your service advisor needs to follow. This process should be clear, it should be detailed, and regularly reviewed to ensure that it remains effective. Again, I'm going to give you a sample. If your shop's workflow is a little bit different, then match it to your workflow. But again, we have to think about who we have in these positions currently, and then we have to make it so that we can train a replacement or something else in case we need to do that. First, we look at what are the critical components of the perfect estimate process. Number one, the estimate starts way before the estimate, right? It starts with the initial customer interaction. And we want to greet the customer warmly, gather basic vehicle information. Obviously, we want to listen to the customer's concerns and document them accurately. We need to use symptom sheets as necessary to get the technicians the information they need in order to diagnose the issue accurately and in a timely manner. This is a brake symptom sheet. This is a cooling system sheet. This is a diagnostic symptom sheet. Next, we have to make sure that we do a good digital vehicle inspection. We've got to perform a thorough inspection based on the customer's input and routine checks. We have to document all findings, including visual inspections and diagnostic results. And lastly, we have to include pictures and videos. Pictures and videos are a must. Next, we have to prepare the estimate. We have to compile all the identified issues and recommended services. We have to include the technician write-ups, the wraparound services, and the mileage-based maintenance. We have to ensure all the parts and labor costs are accurately calculated. And then finally, I want you to look over that ticket and reword any technician spelling and descriptions as necessary. Next goes to the customer presentation. You have to present the estimate to the customer clearly and understandably. You need to explain the necessity of each service and answer any questions. And then you have to provide options and prioritize repairs if necessary. We have a lot of service advisors that are coming up in this digital age, and they're great with most of this, but then they just shoot out a text to the customer with the estimate, and then the customer approves or declines whatever they want. That's as far as it goes. You have to either make a pre-call and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I'm working on this estimate. I'm getting ready to send it over to you. Whenever you get it, please look at it. If you want to approve it all, that's great. But if you have any questions or there's some things we need to talk about, let's make sure and get together. That's one way of doing it. Next thing you could say is like, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Customer, I'm getting ready to send this estimate over. As soon as you get it, please call me so we can talk about it. Some service advisors today don't know what it's like to present over the phone and how to do a proper description, paint a picture over the phone, or anything like that. So we have to make sure that our people are trained to be able to sell over the phone as well. Okay. Next, again, this is in the estimate process, but this is important follow-up. We have to document the customer decisions and update the estimate accordingly. And then we have to schedule approved repairs and set clear expectations for completion time, et cetera, when to look for the next communication from us as well. The other thing, technology is great, and it also hinders us a little bit, like I was talking about, as far as the texting presentations or texting estimates. But One thing we need to do technology-wise is we need to create a training video demonstrating how to write the perfect estimate so that we can reinforce the written process. Different people learn different ways. If you can do a video, record your screen, making an estimate, that it's one more thing that you can have in your training manual for them to look at and then help them be better at this. That video is going to be a valuable resource for new hires, and it also can be a refresher for experienced service advisors. The other thing is when you put all this into place, if you as a shop owner are not auditing these processes and checking, and your average repair order goes down, your average estimate goes down, then whose fault is it? Okay. Everything's a challenge right now. Everything's a challenge all the time in the auto repair shop, right? But running a successful auto repair shop requires a keen understanding of the market and a commitment to excellence in service. By ensuring that your service advisors are not selling with their wallets, that they are estimating all recommended services, that they are setting, and that you are setting accurate average estimate goals and establishing a transparent process for creating estimates, you can significantly enhance your shop's performance and profitability. I want you to stay proactive, keep learning, and adapt to the ever-changing landscape. Your dedication to quality service and customer satisfaction will ensure your shop's survival and ability to thrive. So I want you to feel free to ask any questions, comments, reach out to me. If you have anything else on further insights on optimizing your auto repair shop's operations, then let's get together and let's talk about it, okay? Lastly, I want to say thanks to all of our incredible listeners. Your passion and drive motivate us to deliver top-notch content. A big shout out to our sponsor, Shop Marketing Pros. If your shop is the best in town, but your marketing isn't cutting it, it's time for a change. Shop Marketing Pros understands your business and ensures your shop stands out. Where quality meets visibility, Shop Marketing Pros ensures your auto repair shop stands out in a crowded market. Hey, everybody, thanks for tuning into the Weekly Blitz. Remember, it's time to rise, grind, and keep your mindset positive. Until next time, this is Coach Chris Cotton signing off. Have a great day, everybody.
You've been listening to the Weekly Blitz with Coach Chris Cotton on the AftermarketRadioNetwork.com. Follow Chris on your favorite podcast listening app. Let him know what you'd like him to cover. His email is in the show notes. Chris is all for advancing the aftermarkets.